Nga Indishin digre. Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. I know it's a beautiful Saturday and there's lots of other programs where you could be, but I think you're here because, like me, you realize what an important election this will be and how important it is that we have Bhutila continue her great work representing not just this area, but our entire Tibetan community in Canada. I had the honor of working on Bhutila's 2022 campaign, and again, I'm working on her 2025 campaign this time. And I'll tell you that, our team knocks on hundreds of doors every single day. We have so many conversations with voters on the phones and at the doors, and we hear over and over again this tremendous support and admiration and recognition for her track record and her work in the community, not just from Tibetans in Parkdale or her base here, but all over our riding. Everyone that we have a conversation with, right away they know her work, and whether or not they're an NDP or typically or a liberal, they recognize that she's a hard-working representative, not just for our community, but for the wider community. And when I got that feeling in 2022, and even before that, when I knew her work since she was first elected, I thought to myself, it's so amazing that our community of youth has someone like this right here in Toronto to look up to. I can tell my peers, and in the future I can tell my children when I have them, that you don't have to look far to dream big and know what's possible for us. We can just look at Bhutila. And it's true for myself too. I know that in my life, when I think about my journey and how I got here, every step of the way, I recognize that she has paved the way years before. So when I was an intern at Kaninchanaling, Bhutila was a board member there years before I got there. When I did my internship and led my chapter of Prerangzan Lopta, I know that Bhutila was on the board in 2008, and she did so much of the work to found that group and their presence in Toronto. And because of Bhutila, I joined the Riding Association right here in Parkdale High Park. I met so many fantastic people. I was able to volunteer, knocking on doors, making calls, organizing locally, and this gave me the skills and the network that I needed. And now, I have a job at City Hall, and so one of my goals and one thing that I really think is so important is, the importance of her work for myself, for my peers, for the next generation of youth in Toronto, and for every succeeding generation of Tibetans that will go on to live here, to have work like this, to have a path blazed for them ahead of time, and to have someone to point to and say, look what's possible. So I think it's really important that we continue that great work. And it's also taught me the importance of having someone to represent our voice at different levels of government. Someone with our lived experiences, even with our physical features, being at a House of Representatives, someone with our sensibilities and our voice. So my hope is that having her as a two-term MPP and now running for MP, our community will also become more engaged with our representatives, not just in Parkdale, but wherever you live, in Etobicoke, in Mississauga, in Scarborough. And it will inspire our community to vote more, to be more engaged politically, to talk to our representatives and have conversations, and to continue that political engagement. So our work here is definitely not over, and once we elect Bhutila, our work is still not over. We have 4 years of work ahead of us, and it starts right now. From now until Election Day, I know I'll be right here in this office making calls, knocking on doors, and trying to train volunteers and have as many conversations as possible. And from our community, from the wider community in Parkdale High Park, we will need support. We'll need donations and volunteers and people to get to the polls and definitely vote. Vote early, vote always. And yeah, so in 2018, Bhutila made history for our community. And in 2025, we're going to do it again.